Hello, we're back, the Dudes of Horror. We're doing our podcast this time about the South Texas Comic Con, our experiences there. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. Saw a lot of cosplayers. We met some really nice celebrities. Saw a lot of interesting memorabilia, that type of stuff. For the most part, everybody we encountered was really nice. So, what did y'all think? Oh, I'm Damien, by the way.
Wormboy.
And Debbie.
I think I enjoyed. I didn't get to see any of the celebrities really up close that you guys did, but I did get to see a little bit of Marky Ramone because he was like on the corner, and he seemed like a pretty cool guy. He was really nice to all the fans that were there, and he was like very chill, down to earth guy. And I did get to see Horror a little bit. He was busy.
Yeah.
He had a lot of people.
I didn't even see him.
He was behind a lot of people, and the security guard was just like, he looked like overwhelmed.
Wait, who?
Hodor, or
The Game of Thrones.
yeah, Christian Nairn or something like that.
Mm.
I saw Michael Rooker. He looked pretty cool. He was skinny,
Mm-hmm.
but he was nice as well. I know Damien was telling me about how he kind of acted out a scene for a kid that was dressed like him.
Yeah, it was
pretty
like
cool.
this little kid dressed up as Hondo.
But it was...
Yeah, there was like this little kid dressed up as Hondo, and when he approached Michael Rooker at his booth, he like acted out a scene as Hondo. So it was cool. Like everybody that was there got to witness this, got to witness for free like this like badass Hollywood actor performing a scene.
And you guys saw Jim Beaver, right? How was he?
Yeah, that was actually as soon as we walked in. That was the first thing we did. We went over to the celebrity side. And there was like hardly any. There was nobody in line to talk to him because he was about to go. No, but the reason was because they were closing his booth because he was about to go do a Q&A or something.
Yeah.
And we just asked the lady, because he was still sitting there, like just sitting there on his phone. So we asked the volunteer that was like in charge of his booth, like, well, can we just go talk to him real quick, like right now? And she was like, yeah, photo with him, like a selfie, but we got his autograph and we got to talk to him for a second, and we were a little apprehensive.
Why?
Yeah. I got starstruck.
Really?
Yeah. I had all this stuff planned in my head that I wanted to say to him, and then when we went up there, I was mute.
Well, now that you're here, what would you tell him?
Well, it's because I'm a hardcore Supernatural fan. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. I was going to tell him that I was super sad when they killed his character off, and I couldn't watch Supernatural for like 2 weeks after that. And
He's dead?
I wanted to tell him that when I met him, but I froze up.
No, but I meant you were apprehensive because you were worried that he wasn't going to be nice.
Oh yeah, I was scared that he was going to be mean because you always hear horror stories from people when they meet celebrities at a horror con or a comic con, and they're all excited to meet somebody, and then they find out that the person's rude, and it's scary that you're going to meet somebody that you are a huge fan of, and then you find out they're a jerk. But he's super, super cool. He's not stuck up. He wasn't rude at all. He was really, really, really nice.
Yeah. We talked to Marky Ramone like right after that, and then we were approaching his booth, and I didn't even know he walked right up behind me because Debbie was kind of like nudging me like turn around. I was like, what? And like I turned and he was Marky Ramone. You're like, yeah.
He was right behind you. You're
like,
in his way.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And she was like, that's why I was telling you to turn around. But he was like all laid back too when we got to talk to him. He was really nice. I was wearing my Wolfman t-shirt, and as soon as we went up to him to talk to him, Marky Ramone was like, I really like your shot. Where'd you get your shot? And we were just talking to him like Like, yeah, no, like, well,
They're giving it to me.
right. And then I told him that my dad was a drummer and that he taught me how to play the drums like in 7th grade. And he was just all cool. He was just like, oh, good. He's like, tell him I said to keep it up. He's like, the world needs more good drummers.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh, this is like a surreal experience. But the one that really was the most emotional, I think, was like when we met Jason Mewes.
Oh yeah.
Why?
He just seemed like he just seemed like really happy, like genuinely happy to be there and like to
Really?
be greeting all the fans. And like
super sweet.
yeah, and like he came around the booth and he was never like behind his booth. He was out there like interacting with everybody, and he was like operating, like running it himself, and he would like take your phone and he would take like 5 or 6 selfies with you, like operating your phone himself. And
Making
like
all these funny faces.
yeah, making all these goofy faces, and like the families that were in line that had children, he would like wave them to come ahead, like to cut in line, like, oh, let them through first. And the volunteer that was assigned to him, you could see him kind of like
Frustrated.
trying to and he was trying to like tell him like, oh well, the rules are this and that, and he just didn't care at all. He was like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it this way.
And he was trying to rush him too, like, because he was taking time with each person. He would talk to them, and he would hug you and sign your stuff and everything. And the guy was trying to like, hurry up, and he would just ignore him.
Yeah, he like just did not care. He was like, I don't care, I'm gonna take time to greet everybody and
That's awesome.
thank everybody. Like, he was cool.
And when I first got there, I saw a booth inside the children's section. There was this young actress named Maneli Cepeda. She's coming. The reason I went to talk to her is not just, oh, she's a child actress, let me go talk to her. Like, no, it was because there was a picture of her face and a poster saying, I believe it's going to be a horror movie in Spanish called Vacaciones del Terror, which means vacations of terror. But that caught my eye, and then briefly talked to her and her parents. And they're like, yeah, we're filming right now. Hopefully they're gonna finish it this year, but I know we plan to watch that and do a review, because I let her know like we have our channel, and she's like, oh, okay, that's good. Like, I look forward to seeing that. So that caught my attention, because I was like, I don't know who she was, and then I was like, I saw this and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That poster that you had looked pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, her face looks like she's evil.
You're gonna put the picture up there?
Yeah,
Cool.
on the video.
And then we saw an endless amount of awesome cosplayers, and
Oh yeah.
for the most part, everybody was nice. Like, everybody was really kind that I encountered. So
There was a lot of people there.
Yeah, there was.
It was packed. You couldn't really walk around without bumping shoulders with people. When we went on Saturday,
yeah, we encountered there were like the cosplayers. There were these 2 guys that we saw outside before they even walked in, and they were kind of like, I asked them what their costume was, and they said that they had created it themselves. They were like Renaissance hitmen or something.
What the hell?
Or not Renaissance, but like Victorian hitmen. And I was thinking, like, these guys look like purgers. Like,
yeah, that's what it reminded me.
like, these guys look like a purge gang. And then when Ruben,
Oh yeah, one that caught my attention. I think he should have won, and hopefully he did win the contest. The cosplay contest was Sub-Zero. There's this guy dressed as Sub-Zero, and the cool thing about his costume was he had a head of reptile with his spine coming out, looked kind of bloody, and on top of that, it's a fatality. And I think it looked really, really cool. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty creative. I really enjoyed seeing that. I think he was the only one dressed like that.
because everyone remembers, like, if you're old, you remember, like,
Even if you're young.
no, the blood code from Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That Sub-Zero's fatality was he would like rip out the spinal column.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the spinal column of Reptile with a sign over it that said fatality.
Yeah.
I think the best costume that I saw was the girl that was dressed as a character from Moana, right? That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
The one with the
know.
big.
I had to ask her who she was because I haven't seen Moana, so I had to ask her. But it was that one that looked like it was cut in half, where half it looked like plants.
The one that was big.
This one right here.
Oh shit! I didn't see that
And
one.
she said that it was the two parts of the girl's personality. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
When she's good and when she's evil, and then at the center you can see like I don't know what that is. As like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but that girl stood out really hardcore, and she said that she made the costume herself, so that's amazing.
Yeah, that was
just like another one, the Catwoman. She made the costume herself.
The leather one.
The Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman.
Yes, she looked awesome too.
Batman.
And then the girl dressed as the female Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas looked awesome.
I didn't see her.
You didn't see her? She had this like big green dress, and she had like the little, like you could see his little hands sticking out.
Oh wow!
And then that spin thing that he had in the movie, it was attached to her back, and it was lighting up too, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. Some of those costumes, I didn't understand how they were able to even walk around.
That's what I was gonna say.
And like,
she looked like she was having a hard time walking around.
Yeah, I'm like,
crowd.
what do you do? You have to go to the bathroom, or what do you? How do you like sit or do anything? Like they're very dedicated because they obviously were not comfortable in those costumes.
Yeah. And then we saw the Two-Face guy that's been there.
Oh yeah,
the
we saw him
last
last
few
year.
years.
Yeah.
He looked cool, and related to that was not related. It's a different universe, but Beast, the guy dressed as Beast.
Oh, his teeth.
Oh,
he looked cool.
And he was with the guy, the 300 guy.
Yeah, the 300 dude.
God, when I saw them, they were like hanging out and drinking beers. And I was like, I don't care. I'm walking up, like I'm gonna go, and I didn't know if they were gonna be cool with it or not because they were like hanging out, taking a break. And I was like, hey, can I take a picture with Beast? And they're like, yeah. They were totally cool. And then they were trying to hide their beers behind me in the picture.
Oh yeah.
He was like, no, don't want the beer to get in. And I was like, no, the beer can come out. It's fine. Like,
Yeah, but they're keeping it professional.
Yeah.
Another one I saw was the guy that I think is Slash with the face of a skull. Because he has a guitar and he has like this Hellraiser kind of looking thing, the goggles.
Yeah.
I think he actually did come out in Guitar Hero. I think he's one of the bosses you have to play against, and you have to win.
it looked like he had the coat from Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
He looked awesome.
But he was awesome.
And then when we were taking a break outside, we saw this guy standing in line to get in dressed as Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we gotta track him down when we go back inside. And then when we went inside, as soon as we passed the gate to get back in, he was standing there. So I walked up to him and I said, hey, like, can we get some stock footage of you because we're running a podcast? And he was doing all these cool poses and stuff.
Yeah, and that should come out in the video. I didn't get to see him personally, but I did see the video, and he looked pretty cool. He was a cool Beetlejuice.
And that girl dressed as Ursula from The Little Mermaid looked amazing.
I didn't see her.
You didn't see her?
I don't think she got there until later, but
she couldn't even get inside. All these kids just ran at her and wanted to take pictures with her.
With Ursula?
Yeah.
But she's mean.
I know, well, but I mean,
Wow.
they just saw a Disney character and they got super excited. She had like 10 kids waiting to take pictures with her.
Oh, wow. She looks awesome.
She looked like a live action version of
She looks awesome.
from the cartoon.
That's a really cool costume. And she painted her skin and everything. That's crazy.
And then we ran into Silent Bob.
Yeah.
We ran into some guy that had like the entire costume down, the beard, the backwards cap, the green trench coat. And he was like in character, like he wouldn't talk. He was just like communicating with hand signals.
That's awesome.
Like Silent Bob. And then I saw some kid, I think dressed as like Papa Legba.
Oh, okay.
Like, but he looked cool. He had like the torch of the skull and the skull, the corpse paint and everything.
Oh, the little kid
Oh,
dressed
Georgie.
as Georgie.
There was some kid dressed as Georgie from It. That was awesome. And
That looks cool.
his mom was dressed as that samurai girl with the sword from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But the kid had it down. Like, he had the little sailboat, the paper sailboat, and the yellow raincoat with the severed arm on one side with blood. And I was like, okay, I want to pick, because like I didn't know he was Georgie. And then I asked the mom if I could take a picture of her in her costume, and then I saw him turn and I saw the arm, the severed arm, and I was like, oh, I want Georgie in the picture too. So she went and got Georgie.
That's
That's
awesome.
so cool how he wasn't scared, you know, because you know a lot of kids get freaked out by stuff, but
No, he was like waving
pretty
he was
awesome.
holding up the little boat and everything, like he was all into it.
there was a lot of cool parents with their kids dressed up.
Yeah, and then
I saw the wrestling family, and there was a family and they were all dressed as different wrestlers.
really.
Yeah, like the dad was Macho Man,
Yeah.
the mom was
Yeah, how come I didn't see that?
Asuka, one of the sons was John Cena.
And the other
Sadly,
one was
and then the other one
Undertaker.
was the Undertaker.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So
And
3
then
out of 4, good choices.
There was some kid dressed up as a female Joker.
Yeah,
And the costume.
the shy little girl.
Yeah, but the costume was like really elaborate. So so I approached her like, oh, can I take a picture with this kid? And I felt bad because she was like really timid. She was like really shy. I was like, what is your costume? And she was just kind of like, the Joker. The costume
Yeah,
looked great.
Damien
so-
didn't care. He would go and take pictures with everybody.
Yeah, not me, not so much.
Oh, and then they had
The
they
Batman
had
car,
the '60s Batmobile
and I hate that.
from
that-
the cheesy Adam West TV show.
Yeah, I hate that show. But it was a nice looking car. I think it was like $15. I was like, damn, just to get a photo.
I snuck one though. I don't think I was supposed to.
You're
take
not supposed
it,
to.
but
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw the Ghostbusters there. They were pretty cool. They had like everything going, the proton packs,
With Vigo in the background.
and even Slimer was there. I was like, wow,
oh,
that was
yeah, I saw
awesome.
Slimer.
Did you see Slimer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was pretty cool.
The proton packs were like very detailed. It
Yep.
looked good. It looked just like the movie.
And I know there's also this guy. I don't know if you saw him dressed as Wonder Woman. He looked pretty cool.
No, I saw a girl dressed as
And
Captain America.
there was a girl dressed as Captain America.
Yeah.
The guy dressed as Wonder Woman, and someone else dressed as.
Remember the
I
professional?
saw a girl dressed as Negan too.
Oh yeah.
That was
So I
cool.
saw like 10.
There was a
people.
lot of Negan.
Yeah, I
Lots
saw
of
like
Negans
10
floating
people dressed as Negan.
Old, young, women, men, children.
I was just like,
Lots of
damn,
Negans.
these people are crazy. Like,
And I
they're all
know-
Negan.
There was a professional cosplayer dressed as Harley Quinn with like this gigantic mallet.
Wow.
That looks cool.
What was her name?
She gave us her card, but I don't I don't want to butcher her name. Moriko Hina. Moriko
No, I think
Hina. I don't know.
if we're saying it wrong, we apologize.
If we butchered your name, we
Yeah.
apologize.
The swag they had. They had a lot of action figures.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of horror related, even though it's not a horror con.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like
I wanted that.
Michael Myers.
I wanted
Jason.
that Leatherface.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. One.
That vendor that was right there by the entrance door.
The one is that the one where that had the gizmo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that does the little sound. Oh man, I
Yeah.
wanted that so
I have
bad.
video of that.
Oh, it was so adorable.
Cause she was trying to sell me that one. Cause I was looking at the smaller ones. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we have a bigger one." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, this one makes noise too." I was
And
like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
she had that giant Terminator that
Yeah.
looked exactly like Arnold from Terminator 2.
And those were expensive,
I wanted
but they were
them.
awesome.
There seemed like there was less action figures though this time, right?
Well, it's because there's just pops everywhere.
There was a lot of stands with pops, but not so much.
I wonder when
like,
that's
not
gonna
as many
die down,
action
you know?
figures. I love pops though, so I don't mind. But
I don't like.
I thought there was gonna be more action figures than there was.
I
But
thought there was.
lots of artists too.
I saw that guy with metal figures he would do by hand.
Oh yeah, those.
That
were
guy had
awesome.
cool figures.
Yeah, he's like, you can touch him, and I'm like, no, I'm scared.
No, actually, I was filming, and he said, "Oh, no filming, no filming." I was like, "Oh," but I'm still gonna include it in the video.
Those were so creative, though. Like, if you took time to look at the detail, like they were made out of like bicycle
Scraps.
chains. Yeah, like bicycle chains and bolts and screws, but the way that he had put them together, like to the naked eye, you could instantly tell like what it was. Like, oh, that's a xenomorph.
He had
That's a
lots
predator.
of xenomorphs there. It looked
And
amazing.
then he had that big one as what was the main one he had there? Was it a xenomorph?
Yeah, I think so.
Forgot.
And he had Optimus Prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an eagle, and they were super expensive. But I mean, if
No,
you
they
think
weren't.
there was one that was like $300.
Oh, I didn't see those.
That
But-
was the xenomorph.
Yeah, and
Because
like,
I saw Bender. Bender was like 35.
no, the ones that I saw were 150, 200, $300. But if you look at all the detail and imagine how long it takes to make that, I can understand why it cost $300.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's worth it.
And there was also an owl lady with an actual owl there.
It was real?
Yes, it was real.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't believe it was
I
real.
thought it was stuffed. I was wondering why people
No,
were so excited
it
to
was
take a picture with
moving.
a stuffed owl.
It was
I don't get
moving,
it.
but it was trained.
I didn't see that.
I saw it, but I thought it was a stuffed owl, or I would have stopped because you know me with animals, I get all excited.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
I thought it. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think they would have a live animal in that enclosed space like that.
Remember
I guess so.
Oh
the
yeah.
Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation
Umbrella Corporation
guys?
was there with the virus, and Damien was
Holding the T virus.
holding the T virus. By the way,
No, but it was.
don't drop that.
I approached him.
Holding the T virus.
I approached him to ask him if we could get some footage of them because they had like very detailed costumes. Like they basically looked just like the movie. And they were like, yeah, like one of them was like the soldier, and the other one was like the dude in like
Scientist.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And
But look, he has the cure too.
no, that's why he
He's a
opened the
scientist.
he opened the case and he handed me the little canister, the little virus canister, so I could like pose with it.
That's
and
so cool.
They were cool. They were like
Yeah, and for the most part, all the ones I saw were nice. They were like, oh, yeah, you can take a picture, or you can take video. That's fine, you know.
Yeah, there was a few unruly drunk people, but they didn't seem like the cosplayer Comic-Con type. I think they just... So I'm not holding it against the actual Comic-Con
they heard
crowd.
there was a place where you could get cheap booze.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, a place to walk around and drink. Let's go.
The guy that had all the masks hanging,
Oh yeah,
I saw I wanted the Boris Karloff Frankenstein's monster mask.
it looked
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
looked awesome.
Those were expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And then that big dude dressed as Bane.
Oh yeah, you told me about him.
He wa-
He was pumped. Like he was.
He didn't even get through the door. Like as soon
He didn't fit.
as as soon,
His muscles were too big.
as soon as he walked through the main entrance, like he just got bombarded. He got bombarded by kids, and everybody was like, "Bane, I want to get a picture with Bane." And then I got a picture with him, and I was like, "This guy was like actually like bodybuilder level muscular
Yeah, his muscles were real.
with the Bane mask."
Oh, and remember Bam passed right by us?
I didn't see Bam.
He looked
Drunk?
looked a bit
Inebriated.
Disheveled.
I don't know, a little burnt out. I don't want to say anything mean. He looked a little.
He kind of walked past us when he was going back to his booth. I think he had gone to get munchies or something. And he was walking back to his booth with like the volunteer that was assigned to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed by us just kind of like.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to blink anymore or something. But and we saw Joey Lauren Adams when we were in line to see Jason Mewes, and she looks like she hasn't aged
She
at
looks
all.
the same.
Yeah, she's still looks the same.
I'm dead. What do you want me to do? She was like super nice though.
The Chasing Amy line.
She was.
But I thought it was cool because while we were waiting there, I was watching people taking pictures with her, and she was holding a fan's baby because they wanted a picture of her holding it, and And it was so funny because she was looking at the baby all smiling and the baby was laughing and stuff, and then it threw up on her. And I was like, oh man, I wonder if she's gonna get pissed, but she was real cool. She just started laughing and she's like, it happens, you know. And she just like let them clean the puke off of her, and she was real cool, like no big deal. And I thought that was cool, you know, because some celebrities might get angry if your kid vomits all over them, but she was cool. She took it like a champ, like no big deal.
Yeah, but overall, I really enjoyed myself. I saw a lot of different cosplayers, a lot of merch, a lot of famous people, and there was a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
like it was overwhelming.
Yes.
At one point, I was like, I need to leave already.
Remember the Hellboy guy?
Oh yeah, the Hellboy guy was cool. He looked like the comic book version. I think that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He had like this homemade one-of-a-kind Hellboy costume.
Yep.
And then the dad with the...
Oh, the American Horror Story clown?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look creepy.
There was a father and son that had like the exact same clown costume.
And he makes me take pictures of him with clowns, knowing
I know
very well that I am terrified.
Oh yeah, there was this guy dressed as, I believe, God of War related. But Damien, I think, was like, who are you?
I insulted him because I was like, are you the guy from the Road Warrior?
Oh my god.
He's like, no.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah, he's like, no, old man, I'm from God of War.
He said that?
No,
Oh,
he didn't say that.
We're like, sorry, we don't play games. My bad. Ruben should.
I know,
you
guys should.
Ruben should have. And there's lots of Deadpools and Spider-Man.
But there is that one Deadpool guy that's always going.
Yeah, his costume's cool.
He's always dressing up as him.
He actually has like the leather, like the actual leather Deadpool costume, like that he looks like the Deadpool from the movie.
And I don't know which Deadpool it was, but I saw one just joking around with one of the vendors that had those fake guns. And he just tried grabbing like random guns, and he's taking out, I thank you, or I see you. And I was like, I'm just joking.
And then there was that one cool Spider-Man that was actually doing like
moves?
Tricks and moves, like he was walking on his hands and stuff.
I didn't see him.
You didn't see him? Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Maybe it was his feet. He was backwards.
No, he was doing all this crazy stuff like he thought he was really Spider-Man, but
maybe it is.
I didn't see that either.
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, there was people taking pictures with him. I mean, maybe it was a girl, I don't know.
And then we saw that sad Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, there was a depressed Michael Myers roaming around the Comic-Con. He was very short. He looked very sad. I think he thought it was a horror con and was disappointed when he got there.
It's his off time.
Yeah, he just looked really depressed. He had no friends.
It's like, why is it so hot here right now? It's supposed to be cold.
He looked very sad, very, very disappointed that Michael Myers. And we kept seeing him everywhere. And I mean,
and he was always by himself.
He just had that walk of, oh man,
I'm here by myself.
I'm all alone. It's not Halloween. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It was like seeing Michael Myers wandering around on November 1st. But yeah, that was our experience at South Texas Comic Con.
I would like to see them have more vendors that sell like T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, they didn't
have
that
like
many.
if they had like a Rock Rebel type T-shirt stand.
They had some.
Yeah, but they were like a lot of like homemade,
cheap.
Yeah, like you wash it twice and the thing is gone kind of shirts.
Yeah.
But I like all the art and everything that they have there. But I would like to see more T-shirt vendors. You know, they had a lot of shirts of different animes and horror-related stuff. Movies.
Well, they had that Supernatural shirt that you love.
Yeah, I think that they would. You can't have enough T-shirts, you know.
What I
and
would
especially one that says the con. I didn't see any.
Yeah, like at the horror one, you got one, and this time they only had like lanyards and bags.
Oh, cheap.
They didn't have shirts.
Remember that one artist that we saw, that painter that had like the real detailed Ninja Turtle and
oh man, that one was amazing.
Slasher icon pictures.
We should have gotten that person's name.
If he would have had his pictures put on T-shirts, that would be cool.
Exactly, because you see all those artists that it's amazing, and if they were to put that stuff on T-shirts, it would sell. People love shirts.
Well, guys, that's our take on the South Texas Comic Con this year, 2018. I'm Wormboy.
I'm Damien.
And I'm not Toots, I'm Debbie.